We are a family that have left the UK to travel full time, and we have just completed our first 3-month stay here in Malaysia. We leave today for our next place, and I just thought it would be good to show you, if you're thinking of doing something this similar, as to how you start, where do you think about going, how do you make the decisions, and also that carries on throughout the travel, where next. So shall we have a little walk? This is where we're staying, been staying for the last 3 nights. Well, we've come back to KL before we fly out to our next place. So I'll show you around here as we walk. So when we first made this decision, and it's like, well, where do we even start? How do we even know where to go? That was one of our first questions, right? And I guess the world is a big place. And so you could start by narrowing it down to which continent do you want to be in? Europe, Americas, Africa, Southeast Asia. We opted for Southeast Asia because it's cheapest. To be quite honest, it is the cheapest place we could start off. And I wanted all year sun, so I didn't really want to be in Europe. We did consider Central and South America. That was where we were going first, but because of the time of year that we ended up leaving, because of the house sale falling through and things, we ended up opting for Southeast Asia. Obviously, you've got to factor in the flight costs. So if we're talking about continents, you could be talking about long haul, right? So we did England to Kuala Lumpur, we're back where we started, and that was £1,500 for our flight of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids. So that's something, but then once you're there, the costs are a lot cheaper to go around that continent, right? General cost of living, obviously, then that's a factor. So looking into all these things and bearing all this in mind, I'm going to go back because there's a leaf blower, man. We'll go back again this way. So general cost of living, got to factor that in. Sites, are you doing this just because you want to live, or are you doing this because you want to sightsee? There's something, on your bucket list that you want to see, or something you want to show your kids particularly within their education. That's to factor in. For us, it wasn't for sightseeing as such. It was probably about the cost of living. Visas, so obviously we're from England, we have a British passport. If you have different passports, you have different entry requirements. And the way we started looking into this was, if you are British, you just go on the government website and look at foreign travel. And within that, you type in the place you want to go and it will tell you what visa requirements you need. So for us, a lot of places are free. You might just be able to go straight in. You might just be able to do a quick e-visa and get that for free there and then. For our next place, we had to apply for that. So I'll come on to that in a minute. Safety, if you're travelling with a family, safety might be an issue for you. So that's something to research about the country you're going into. And weather, as in the weather, time of year you're planning to go to these places, that might be a factor as to where and when you go. Food, if you like your food, it'd be no problem. If you're a bit picky, can you eat there? If you've got dietary requirements, that could be an issue. So we're looking into their food. And for us, we are doing this as a family, as a full-time living. We don't intend to go back if we can help it. So this is our way of life. We home educated the girls prior to coming. So for us, we are looking at this as a world schooling. That's what we're doing. We're world schooling. So we want to meet up with other world schooling parents. So that's a priority for us as to where these are. When we started, we had an idea. Once we knew we were going to Southeast Asia, we started looking at Facebook groups and other world schooling Facebook groups in there and chatting with them, and then we found there was a Kuala Lumpur meetup. We found that before we got here, so we were already on the groups before we got here. So that's a good tip, is to find these groups and where they are, where these meetups are, because that can help with your, go back again, that can help with your where you want to go as well within the continent, like based on the world schooling, if that's important to you, like it was for us. So that's what I've come up with for what you might want to think about when you first start this. But every time your visa runs out and you've got to leave, you have to do it again, right? But in a condensed way. So you know you're in your continent and you're moving around your continent, but you've got to decide where next. Now, we've had an unprecedented, I don't like that word, an unprecedented thing happen for us in this next move, our first move out of the country, like at the end of our visa. The war, the fuel hike prices, it's just been quite a lot to factor in on top of everything else. So we were like, we've got to book these flights as soon as possible because they're going up and there's less of them. So we felt a bit of a panic to get these next flights booked in. And we heard that a lot of them were getting cancelled as well. So for us, we got a 3-month visa for the next place. So in this next country, we did have to apply for it. It wasn't a quick do it online and get it back straight away. So that's a bit nerve-wracking. Applying for a visa, and then we'd heard, before we'd applied for it, we'd heard this same country we're going to, that all but one of their family, a kid in their family, didn't get the visa. So you can get in this particular country, you can get in on 45 days anyway for a British passport holder. So they could still get in, but it was the 3 months that they wanted to get. So it meant that I don't know what they did in the end, but that was in the back of my mind when I was applying for ours, because you apply for them separately. They don't come as a family. So that one is a lot more in depth when you're putting it in. It's still easy done. You can pay people to do it, but it's still easy done to yourself. It just takes a little bit of time and patience and making sure you're getting it all right. So we did it on a night when the kids were in bed, so we only got through 2 of ours. So we got through mine and my husband's, and then we did our kids the next day. So when we came to get them back, we got our husband's and mine through, but we were frantically waiting for the girls. And we got an email to say that we got them for us, but we didn't get an email for the girls. So we just happened to go on the website and there they were. So that was a relief, because the next place we go to, we are going because of the world schooling community that we're aware of. It's a very big one, and so we're just going to base ourselves in there for the full 3 months. So that's why we really did want to get those visas. So that's the visas. Like I've mentioned, a good world schooling community. Again, I'm on it already. I'm already on the WhatsApp groups, and they do age ranges of 0 to 7, and then 8 to 12, I think, and then they must have a teenage group. And they have a sign-up sheet every week of telling you all the different activities throughout the week, and you sign up on this sheet. I just think it's so organised, it's so amazing that someone's gone out the way to do this. So looking forward to that. I've already booked Lily with, what's she doing? Some dance class in a tree house. That's on Tuesday. And my eldest, we've signed her up for an entrepreneur workshop. That's for 8 to 12-year-olds. That's amazing, isn't it? So she signed up for a month to do that in May. So yes, world schooling community, that was a big thing for us for our next place. We believe the food is more varied, more opportunities for Western food than here in Malaysia. If you've seen my Malaysian video, you'll know that that wasn't a bit of an issue for us. So hopefully we can get back to eating a bit more healthily, and we'll see. So I'm hearing that the weather is similar to here, maybe slightly hotter, I don't know, more humid possibly. I'm hearing that mould is an issue there because of humidity. So when it comes to us looking for our accommodation, then that's something to factor in. Lessons we've learnt going forward. to our next place, and when we keep doing this, is we've booked an Airbnb for a week, and in that week we are going to look at rentals where we can stay for the full 3 months, and that hopefully bring costs down. But one of the things we're going to have to look at is the mould situation. It's not something because people aren't looking after the properties. It's something because it's a very wet and humid country, so it's something that they struggle with. And I think that's about it. They're the things that we've been factoring in to think about for when we go to the next place. So I hope this has been helpful if you're thinking of doing this. I've gone into costs a little bit and budgets and budget apps on the Malaysian video. So if you want to know a little bit more about that side of things, you can check out that video. Otherwise, I hope it's given you a bit of an insight as to where to start, because once you decide to do this, it's a big jump. I get it, it's really big. And you might just need some little tips and guides along the way. So any questions you've got, drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to help you with them. Thanks for watching. Much love. Bye for now.